Hi, we're going to show you how to assemble the Megasonic Sex Communications Bridge. It is a Raspberry Pi based communication bridge between the Model 6000 amplifier and between a regular host that's either working serial SEX 1 using RS-232 or a SEX HMS bridge, which would be using the Ethernet protocol, or a OPC interface client server for doing additional data acquisition. So let's show you how it goes together. This is your housing, and we have to insert the Raspberry Pi. Make sure you have put your SD card in before, because there's no access to it afterwards. Review the other video on how to make the image and get this ready to go. You'll want to power it up before you assemble it just to make sure it works. And then now we're going to install it so that this is coming through with the USB ports, and the Ethernet kind of jockeys over a little bit, and then you just give it a little twick and in it pops just like that. I didn't get the hole there. There we go. Now it's over. Alright, and then it fits over the 4 holes that are here. Should fit over them. Did I lie? There we go. It's over the holes. Now that's down. And now we're going to put in 4 standoffs. These standoffs are 15 millimeters, but I'm going to double check and measure them just so the video is accurate. 14.88, they're 15 millimeter standoffs. There are 4 of them that go in here. This is the DIN rail mounting configuration we're assembling at this time. So it's meant to be mounted, snap mounted onto a DIN rail. That's what this cover was for. Okay, so that's in place. This is a Waveshare 2-channel RS-232. It uses SPI port, but one of the unique things is it's completely isolated the digital I/O, the RS-232, using isolated power supply and a digital isolation chip. So that will help keep it quiet if we have other noise coming in from around. But I don't expect that to be an issue. This works in a very controlled environment. Okay, and now I've put that in place. And we have 1 screw hole. If you come here and look, you're going to see that there are 3 places for screws. The 4th screw goes in as a standoff to hold this board in, and we will capture that shortly after we've put this all together. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and lock down these 3 screws. You're going to need a 2 millimeter Allen driver to make these work. These are M2.5 by about 6 millimeter screws that go in here and hold this in place. That's holding the circuit board in. I'm using ball ends. If you have straight without balls on them, they tend to be easier to install. Not impossible, but more fun the other way. Okay, it's marked ground and +5. This is for the fan. I'm hooking up the black goes to ground, the red goes to +5. Push that all the way down there. The wire's going to have to go below the cover. So in this case, I actually got it sticking up. We're going to put it down like that. Make sure you install the fan, because without it, the CPU is going to get really hot, and you're not going to have as good a time with this. Trying to get the wires tucked in down there. There we go. Okay. Alright, now we're going to put a couple of screws on the outside of the bezel to hold it in place, which is what I'm doing next. There are 4 places for it to happen. I think we only put in 3 of the screws. The other corner is not as friendly accessible. This is an optional bezel mounting system, so we aren't using that in this particular installation. This is the 3rd corner right here. You'll see the 4th corner just doesn't have the room for it. I'm actually redesign this and put a little hollow cavity there for it. Okay, now if you look carefully, you're going to see that there's writing embossed on the outside. This side says COM0 SEX 1 2 host controller. This side says COM1 2 amplifier, and it gives the pinouts 2, 3, and 5 on this connector here. This is a DE9. Some people call it DB9 by mistake, but the E is for the 9-pin series. And it is male pins. So RX is receive, TX is transmit. If you don't know which you're coming in with your cable, if you put a voltmeter on it between ground and this wire, the one that's greatly negative, like -5 to -10 volts, that'll be your transmit from the other one. That will go to the receive on this one. Transmit from here goes to receive on the other unit that you plug into. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stick in that. And finally, you would put the 4 screws in, and you're done. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.